Welcome back to the desk here at VCT Americas, where Leviatán have managed to find a fantastic comeback on map number 1 of Pearl to find themselves 1-0 up versus Furia in the series. And Sean, that is a heartbreaker for this Furia squad because they have this really cool comp. They look great in the first half, and it all fell apart in the second.
It literally fell apart, but hats off to Leviatán for not giving up in that second half and doing all their game plans that we saw previously, right? Their B executes worked perfectly. But yeah, this has to be about the comp and how it feels a little bit to play on defensive side, right? And I think it's because of the fact that they're running this Neon, they don't have that jet op. We saw DG, he busted out the op super late into that game, and Shy punished him. He one-shot him on the A push. All the other rounds, they had to try really weird things like Viper ulting super aggro B, Neon ulting super aggro B. They tried to play to their comp strength. It just did not work here.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, like you said, they had a couple of those rounds where they were trying to take those early fights. And even then, though, some of those rounds were kind of in the unwinnable category anyhow, because it was ecos that they were going for some of the more aggressive, out-of-the-box plays. And then when it came down to the actual gun rounds, things felt a little bit more normalized, slowly kind of drifting into these late rounds like you're watching now.
Yeah, this round that we're watching now was such a pivotal point in the match. They lurk behind the Neon wall at A main while DG is trying to catch the Sky heal back sight, catch the Sky off guard, immediately pop the lockdown, and then on the plant, the Sky got Seekers. Pop Seekers, they go both directions, and they both win the fights. I mean, Leviatán just play these situations so well where they have to instinctually act as quick as possible, and they always make the right decisions.
Yeah, they really do. And I think for Leviatán as well, the fundamentals were fantastic. Their adaptation as well to deal with that comp was great, but into that second half, what really defined them was their post plans, right? They were flawless in those rounds.
Yeah, I mean, literally flawless. Like, literally, they had 10 post plants, and they won 10 post plants.
That's pretty good, I think.
That's 100% of them, actually.
Really?
That's a lot of them. So, with those kind of numbers, it's tough to lose, even when you're down at the half with the old 9-3 curse. And it was like the round you were talking about, Sean, and just over and over, and it was what we were talking about before with this team. It's just when you get into these situations where the fundamentals are the most important, their ability to play off of each other, hold the right angles, set up the crossfires, all of those fundamental aspects of the game, they are always perfect at. It is always what they excel at. And so when you're in those situations at the end of those rounds, they're just racking them up, and it's just, it is hard to believe that Furia won 0 of those, but they actually did. I mean, that is rough.
Given their comp, you would think that a couple of those ults would just grant them
a
free
big
retakes.
ult retake, right?
Yeah, but it just never happened because, like you said, the trading, the spacing, the fundamentals on Leviatán are what carried them through in all those situations.
Yeah, Leviatán's fundamentals continue to be fantastic. But before we get into map number 2, let's talk about some of the players that were actually quite good for the side of Furia. In our Aim Lab shoot-around, we have MW Zera taking a click. And Wyatt, I mean, this guy was good. He was consistent, as he always is on the Sky. But now looking towards the second map on Icebox, that's where I think this one gets interesting.
Yeah, MW was a bit slow out the gate. He started having some better rounds as time went on, even despite them not winning those rounds. It looked like he was starting to warm up a bit. But, I mean, this guy is the original Brazilian GOAT. He was the guy in that region for a long, long time. And it was him being renowned for his mechanical skill. He was playing a lot of duelists. He was dropping insane stat lines, like multiple games of like 34 plus kills in regular time against teams. I mean, he was a freak in that region for so long. And he's still remained a really solid player. He's swapped roles on different teams. He was really good with Furia at lock-in, and from what we've seen of him on this team already. But he is one of those guys that is just, he has that potential to take over the game. He's so explosive. So hoping to see a bit of that on Icebox, which is a map he is typically really good on too.
Yeah, Icebox is a map that can get a little bit brawly, and that's where your aimers typically shine. So I would look for MW to bounce back on this second map. I think a lot of the spacing and the trading things that we saw on Pearl could come into play here, right? The top 410 peak, the ropes peak, and people down below. That's something that Furia need to be aware of, but I'm sure they'll have util to kind of stop that from happening in the A site, and I'm sure that their pounces on that site are going to be very, very powerful.
Yeah, and talking about this Icebox map, my question for both of you guys is, do you think that they stick to the composition they were playing before, which is the default Icebox comp, everyone is playing, the Jet, the Killjoy, the Viper, the Sage, or do they continue with this kind of idea they've been having of innovating, pulling out these new compositions? Because, well, I've really liked the ideas. It feels like in multiple games now, it's come down to the later part of games, they've ran out of ideas, and it's come down to kind of an issue of adapting, which they haven't been able to do so.
So I'm going to speculate, just pure speculation, that I think that Furia is going to comp change here because they picked Icebox, and I think they picked Icebox because it's a weakness for Leviatán. It's a very scrappy map, and they typically avoid it. They don't play it a lot. They haven't played it since the Chamber meta, in fact. So we don't really know what Leviatán are going to bring to the table here, but they probably don't rate this map very highly in their pool. So it's a weakness pick for Furia, and they probably had a week of prep. I really want to see them bust out Harbor here.
Yeah, like you said before, this is the region likes the Harbor in general. So I could definitely see that coming into play. I have no idea with Leviatán. I mean, I would hazard a guess that they're going to take things in a kind of typical direction with the comp on this map. I don't think they're going to be too experimental, but maybe they'll surprise me.
Yeah, but that's kind of also the question of, like, what is typical now? Are we expecting teams to continue with the Sage and the Killjoy, or is this the meta where everyone is going to be switching over to this double controller?
I mean, you've seen some teams not switch over to this double controller and they still farm, but there we go. I mean, there it is straight away, Mizzino on the Harbor. So we are going to see the double controller at least on one side. Khalil going to be sticking on the KJ though, so maybe not then for Furia.
I think there's still a chance we get it both ways, the Harbor Viper comp. I was definitely expecting it out of Leviatán because it's the more strategic thing. You feel like you can control more fights. Furia are down to scrap a little bit more, so if anything, they might stray away from the Harbor Viper. I like what I'm seeing out of Leviatán. I'd imagine they're going to go with the Sky and the Jet as well over on Leviatán.
Yeah, with this Sova picked in, though, for the side of Furia, I would expect that maybe they're going to go for this, maybe they aren't. That's still kind of in question. You see Naswar locking in that Sova as well. Taco probably heading over towards that Jet, so it does feel like there's a good chance for the mirror matchup, but it comes down to QCK's pick to decide this one.
Yeah, and QCK could go several ways here. He could go Sage, he could go Harbor, or he could even go technically Gecko, but there wouldn't be many places to plant it, unfortunately, so I doubt he's going to do that.
Don't do that. Sage, I mean, more reliable. We have this is the bog standard Icebox comp that we've seen for years, and I mean, well, you know, for a reason. It's good.
Yeah. And they should expect that Leviatán would bust out something like this. They've shown they're prone to run the Harbor. So if I were Furia, I would have done my research into how to play against this comp on Icebox. I'm looking forward to see how they challenge these cascades.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. We'll have to see, is Furia ready for this one? Are the fundamentals enough to match up against Leviatán, or will this be a 2-0 for the side of Leviatán? We'll find out as we send things into map number 2, the Heineken 0.0 Icebox with Doug and Bala.
Thank you so much, Mimi. Bala, I feel thirsty all of a sudden. It's just like I need something to quench my thirst.
Yeah, I mean, Mimi said we're going to crack it open here on Icebox for the first time in America's League. So I'm excited for this one because I think Leviatán continued to lead into this comp idea. And I think it was one of the big meta takeaways from Lock-In was Harbor Viper, just spam it on as many maps as possible. And it's for good reason. We just saw what they could do on Pearl, and that's now twice that we've seen them to great effect.
Yeah, and it goes back to some of the conversation we were having, the Death touch on it as well. It does tend to force teams to be a little scrappy, right? A little brawly, a bit more of those like maybe minor engagements that you wouldn't normally see. And while it seemed like Furia were thriving in that, Leviatán just slowed the game down so hard. The question is, will they be able to do it here on Icebox?
I do fear for them with how they got ripped apart by that default by Leviatán on the attack side. And the amount of control you get with this composition is so strong. But this one on Icebox leans a little bit more towards post-plant. Leans a little bit more towards forcing your way on the site. And we have a massive early engagement here. Only one player tagged by that drone.
Yeah, be careful here if you're Leviatán. You've lost kitchen control.
They didn't clear Taco.
Enemy kill.
Ooh, let's go with aggro.
Oh, yeah, he is. Deals some serious damage onto QCK.
And the reason why that decision is so shocking to me is his teammate is so far back, but you're right, they lost kitchen control.
And surely they know that that's a problem. Surely they realize that that's a possibility.
Just getting some chip damage all around. And they have to pivot back to
Khalil
tried and
stayed.
true.
Khalil stayed, I'm sorry. Yeah, Khalil stayed. They didn't expect him to still be there. And now there's punished for the assumption that he made. Off of that, they're still able to provide enough time and buy enough space for the spike to go down A. There's now
Three people all trying to fight him right now.
He's just so pesky. He's such a nuisance. He's drawing away so much attention. They've managed to clear one panel from the Sage Wall.
No post plant at all for Furia. They're all up close.
Oh, DG's in! Back online! As QCK cleans up the round for Furia.
Another good start for Furia. Another pistol round win for them. And it's because you called it out. Khalil just staying in kitchen. They thought they had to rotate back towards this hit. We did so much damage to them. And then lovely setup as well from Furia. QCK taking contact on the screens player. And him backside Digizin with that dash still active.
And the fact that it was Nauser that goes down there. Imagine a dart in that instance. Who knows if DGZin gets 3, right? His position's given away. They know where he is.
Revealing area.
Either way, we continue on to the second round. Furia with the lead. They've got a Vandal in the hands of DGZin as well.
And for both of these teams, Icebox means something to them. Furia, back at Champions, took down Fnatic, who was undefeated with Alphaera in their team lineup on this map. Their playground, we saw it at Lock It again, how good it was for that team.
You've got a trap setup here from back yellow. Yep.
Spike down.
Very well done. Taco was playing back yellow, and you also had King close by. Again, these little micro engagements, so pivotal, and so, more so when it's a pistol round, when you don't have much to fight back with.
Poison's off.
Did recover the gun. But let's see if they actually get punished here.
No shot, he gets this kill, bro. That's criminal. You shouldn't get away with that. Mazzino destroyed Taco 2.
One enemy remaining.
It should be clean the rest of the way, and it is. Furia get the second.
Plant down too, so a little bit of extra money.
Good work.
This is Inardi with his knives, though. Surprising that he's the one carrying the spike there. That indicates to me that we might end up seeing a rope plant and dash off of site to play post plant in the future. Or it's just a random little haphazard thing that happens. But either way, knives now 4 digits in. If you have it really early, yeah, look. Opts to give away his rifle and go for this one. He's gonna go for an early pick by dashing top 2.
Oh, I don't think he saw Shy.
Blocking sight.
Thought for a moment KJ's beanie would betray.
QCK's gonna try to abuse it. No. He's actually still going way deep. He got in front of that wall and might have gotten some information. They might opt to go for a push through once again.
Is that Sage Wall invested? It was.
Oh. They tap the plant on the other side. King is gonna try to challenge, but he loses the fight with a slow landing on top of him at the same time.
And the bullets just went wide.
Spike planted.
King no longer around. Spike invested. And now the blades just peppering Shy.
Retake Util coming in though.
Be fast.
There it is. DG's in with one. DG's in with the second. Waiting to see if anyone else dare challenge, if anyone else dare give an angle.
You know he wanted to updraft there if he
Yeah,
had
he
it.
did. Yeah, he did.
remaining.
And I don't blame him.
Do
they know?
Find.
Do they know where Taco is? They do now. They do now, and DGZin cleans it up. 3 for him, 3 for Furia.
And he just got loud. He just got very loud. That was missing all second half of Pearl. 8 and 1 already for him. And he forces Leviatán to save once again.
Yeah, but this is par for the course.
Yes.
Right? This is what we saw on Pearl.
Yes, it's a very streaky series so far.
They do now, and DGZin cleans it up.
Defensively, Digizin... Sorry, on the attack side, Digizin has been very good.
He just farms.
Shock dart.
It's the defensive side that causes problems. We'll see if that's the case here. Very nice setup.
Out of how many rounds I've seen of Icebox and how common that is, how prolific it is to deny that, I have literally never seen somebody die to the shock molly there.
How often does that work?
I mean, the intent, we still do it because of how it denies that space.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Denies the orb, denies the space.
I wonder if there's some optimization of the lineups there
Deploying
that brings it a little faster, that you don't expect it.
Either that or just like a mental mishap, right?
It is the eco, it is when you're trying to force these orb cheats. But they take huge advantage of it. They get an early pick on A. They hope that somebody rotated off B and go fast over towards it.
To be honest, I didn't see if Taco was a point away from the blades, and that's why that was such a key part of their plan this round. Knowing you had no pistols, get the blades online, make something happen.
I can't imagine he was, actually, given Digizin farming in this game so far.
Sure.
Here.
Either way, Fury manages to get the spike down.
Leviatán dangerous with these sheriffs.
Oh, you saw a
UCK, you got a ponytail.
Crouching and waiting. You see Nowser. Waiting to use the util. None really left to work with here. Clean out from the team. And it's only getting cleaner.
Take down.
Got to give credit there for QCK. The angle of his wall there gave him a little bit more space to work with so he could back up, but not die to a haircut. And this is a big start from Furia. You mentioned this is exactly the same way, so I'm not getting too excited yet for potential full run back. But talk about history. This is a team that is dominant on this map. This is a team that relies on this map consistently. They played it at lock-in. They played it against T1 in that one. And Leviatán as well. They have some bad history on this map. Talk about Champions 2022. This is where they were in the upper bracket game against Loud, and they lost a huge lead.
Poison's off.
Choked it away.
Toxin screen down.
It's the first time we're seeing it again. For them this year, there's a good start finally. A first kill, which they were thriving on in that second half of Pearl.
And remember how impactful King was on that map that you were just alluding to. We often talk about Taco and the value that he provides and how he can be a spark. And I mean, I get it. He's the duelist.
Mid split. That is bold.
It is.
With only 2 players, that is bold. I think what they're trying to do is get Digits in some space. Yeah. And it doesn't do anything.
Nope. Light armor on him too. That op's still in play. Fury have already lost 2 members. QCK's close to having his res, but it's just going to be so far away. He's really not in a position to do it. He can't farm an orb to get that online either. Well, and now he's dead. So there's that.
Oh, he's got the orb. At least.
He has the res online now, yeah.
30 seconds left. I got the spike.
Spike picked up by Khalil, feeling the pressure coming in, drops the molly.
Player standing.
But this looks like this should be the first round for Leviatán.
Someday there's going to be a self-res ult.
Nah.
There's going to be a self-res ult.
No.
Imagine right now, QCK just comes back to life.
No, I'd
Pinches
rather
them.
not.
10 seconds left.
I would rather not. Yeah, well played by Leviatán. And you know, you read it. It was some of the options, some of the ideas that Fury were trying to create to give DG's some space to work with. Taco was wise to it.
Yeah.
And you need those things. You need King to get online. I was saying it earlier, for as impactful as he was in the first map, particularly in the second half, he is very important to the success of Leviatán.
Oh, for sure. But I don't really think you need to be concerned about King coming online. That is an inevitability.
Sure.
This guy tied for the highest kills in a single map so far in America's League.
How do you remember all this stuff, bro? You're so smart.
There's a gentleman backstage who makes me look very good. Orb denial looked like they wanted to go for it for a second, but no, he's looking for a dart. Again, getting Digits inactive here.
Drone for some space.
I like
Here's
this.
Mizzino grab that orb.
Cheating the orb on the other side of the map as well. And something that we haven't touched on yet. Look at the high tide that's coming all the way through there as well. Allowing a little bit more dynamicness. That's a word. With this composition that you don't get when you have a single Viper on this map. When you have the Sage. Here he allows himself some early map control and nets himself an orb,
Here.
and nets himself a reckoning.
How will it be used? Will it
Plant
be
the
used?
spike.
Given he's on the opposite side of the map, timing will be everything here.
Dude, they've got so many ults. Fury, I don't even know how you commit to this plan. And then what is the idea here? Because there's a lockdown, which will get canceled from MW, but then there's a reckoning. There's also Hunter's Fury of Nauser on his own.
You've got options. The Reckoning now close by, as we were just mentioning, and there it is, right on cue, invested. QCK leaving a little bit of utility. Now the Hunter's Fury, and that's ahead.
Space off a dart, too.
Yep. Oh, he's spotted.
2 kills in the meanwhile, though.
Numbers still looking good for Leviatán here.
They didn't use the lockdown, so this Hunter's Fury's in play here for the post.
Yep. Oh, there's just so much damage.
Oh, he's going for it.
There it is. And they're so
Player
weak.
standing.
Yeah, but
So weak.
not anymore. He's going to get on it. He has to go now fight this, and it's impossible. I think
Yeah.
there's even a cove on top of this, too.
Yeah. Needed to find more value out of that Hunter's Fury. And the problem was, members around him were just falling all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. I was shocked that he went for it, given the amount of pressure the rest of his team was under.
Yeah.
That takes good trust, and I like that he has it. But that one might have been lost before the round even, I mean, once they gave him the A site in a sense. That retake is just so strong. And let me as well
Enemy remaining.
remind you of the post-plant stats from the first half. Furia on their attack was quite good at getting the spike down, but in comparison to Leviatán, it was night and day difference in terms of post-plants.
DG's in pushing the pace, seeing if he can grab that alarm bot and clear it up. Was not able to do so, so keep that in mind. That's still in play.
Poison's off.
Those early dashes from Digizin not really finding too much value so far. Not even able to break the turret there. Not even able to get utility out from Noswer until now. He just used his drone. They traded essentially on different sides of the map. And I don't think it cleared. He's marking caution actually on top of Tube right now.
Block the sight.
They have to go through a high tide now. That's risky business.
Oh, and back yellow wasn't cleared. Mazzino the first, and King is just so free.
What a dart.
And off of that, they get the kills, they deny the space, and then they just back on up.
Look at that high tide combination there. They put it to break it, and yes, sure, even the Fury members want to get through it, but once utility is thrown, they have to fall back behind the wall, and
Toxins
M-Dot,
going up.
actually, Nauser has a dart coming from
30
where he's
seconds
at
left.
right now.
That's wild. That's insane.
Oh,
Khalil, too crispy, wants the third just around the corner, and he falls too.
I'm sorry?
Welcome to my
I'm sorry, what?
Wait, this is insane. They dropped the res, they dropped the pit, and they dropped lockdown.
Last player standing.
They haven't gotten the spike down yet.
10 seconds left.
He can't break it with the, oh no!
Oh no.
Spike planted.
Scary for a second, Taco going quick.
And then instantly putting the brakes on it and falls at the worst possible time.
I mean, what?
Well, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
And you know what? I don't even think that was spaghetti.
That looked like spaghetti.
It looked like it, but my goodness. He has, I mean, he gets the 3 kills. I think that's already enough for him, but to pressure as well with the lockdown, I don't know. Chaotic scenes here in the second map.
That had the makings of an insane clutch. Not the case. DG's in with the op here on the attacking side, and it's going to be a challenge into long.
Great turret, spots Taco's aggro. Not something he's done quite yet. He did have that pistol round where he was up on top of these boxes and be main. These guys are going to get droned off.
Take flight.
Remember, King did a great job actually denying this drone vision. Yes, he got tagged of his own, but he at least broke the drone for his teammate. It is exactly the same situation.
Yeah, Mazzino is able to stay concealed. A little spam away.
Poison orb emitting.
Alarm bot. Very happy that that's there right there, because Nauser was definitely not paying attention in that situation. And it's because of the great setup by the Harbor and Viper on B main.
Enemy down.
Taco had been flirting with that side of the map really the entire time for the last minute. Remember, he was the one who pushed up, cleared the turret initially.
Placing swamp grenade.
Oh, that molly's gonna be good too.
But slow as well, denies them all that space. Now we're way ahead.
And the wall. Now they have the
30
lockdown
seconds
that they can play around.
They're going fast. They're flooding with the lockdown while everybody else is running off site right now.
Look at him tuck and tail, trying to scatter. They've got the cove, and he's at least gonna be able to get it to half. He may just be able to stick the whole thing.
Shock's coming in though.
Shock dart.
One more molly from Mazine as well. No more cove either.
9 players left alive, Spike ticking away. And Leviatán patient. They've already gotten so far.
Mazine just fired off another molly, so they can't get this the rest of the way. Oh, Khalil!
But Nowzer's just gonna hold it! No way! That was so close!
Unbelievable!
That we're talking microseconds there. I gotta see that again.
I can't believe it too. How fast it felt like that molly went. They jumped right back on it. It looked like he actually might have been tanking a little bit of that damage. And that's why it looked so scary.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, that was so close. 4-round lead for Furia. Again, keeping up with the pace that we saw on Pearl. Remember, it was a 9-3 half. And it seems like we're on the way there again.
Digizin, since the first 3 rounds, has only gotten 2 kills. That being one of them. But the gears keep on turning. Khalil, the turret's already broken. Oh my goodness. He's
Timing.
pinched right now.
Oh, the timing. Does he know? He does now. Marshall in the hands of Taco. All this space has been denied by Leviatán. And then they're going to be able to clear whatever it is that's left, forcing Furia to go B.
Oh, it looks like they have mollies lined up to execute past this wall here, Doug.
Nice timing on the drone, but it doesn't matter. Mizino already falls.
5 HP, my goodness.
All these fights happening on opposite sides of the map. Taco's not able to deal the shots that matter.
Last player standing.
All DG's in does. He mentioned he'd been a little quiet. That's 2 on the round for him.
This is looking mighty familiar right now.
Yep, we've seen this one before.
A 5-round gap between these 2 teams.
Turret out.
Furia I mean, the fact that they're able to bring it back after losing such a heartbreaking fake comeback from them in the final moments of that game, even though the entire game was in their hands. That one's gotta hurt, but they reset very quickly here.
Get out of my way.
Again, Taco aggro on this side of the map. He's gotta be worried about this updraft. They're dueling right now.
He was looking for it. Either way, neither falling. While King once again finds himself on the receiving end of a couple of bullets at an inopportune time.
He's melting.
Yeah, he had way too many things to clear. I mean, you could see it, the apprehension, the hesitation on what angle to clear, which angle to hold, where to rest his crosshair. Now Reckoning gonna try to push them back, and does. It succeeds. Khalil falls too. You've also got Mizino in a great spot to cover the flank, cover the cross, but I mean, better played there by Mazine.
Swap the spike over so Digizin can cover with the op. It is all Mazino right now.
Oh, forget the op, bro. He wants the flash. He's got the
Bowser has his ult though. They could deny this.
That wall is good. The cloud burst again from DG's in, and there's the 100 Fury that you just mentioned. Denied. DG's in.
Why'd that
Dancing
flick
around.
up?
Who knows? Either way, they've gotten that far. They've cleared that.
30 seconds
But
left.
the thing is, it buys time and it allows Leviatán to get into more of an advantageous position. Mizino creeping around just on the other side. DG's in. Clean shot with the op. How far does he push it? He wants to go fast, and he does. Right in between his eyes. Now leaving Nowzer, who had the Hunter's Fury a moment ago in this 1v2. DG's in with blades, with op. Mazine with health.
They could just fall back here. They've got no reason to stay on this site.
One molly to work with. And Nowzer with way too many things to check, man. He's got to be worried about every single angle. Every single possibility. Now spotting one. Shock dart to land. And that's not going to feel good. 70 HP. Nowzer now. Time short. An option short as well. He's got a dart and he's trying to get through this the frag way. And he cannot.
That was a 2v3 recovery there from Furia. And the problems keep showing for Leviatán. This time, I think, recognizing immediately Taco's on this B main side. Yes, the round doesn't come down to the early picks that MW gets by lurking onto A. But they recognize, okay, if that is not a threat on this side of the map, let's go ahead and take the fight to Nazar, who up to this point has been struggling in this game, outside of his utility, which has been phenomenal. Let me say that real quick. When it comes to the gunfight, they have been abusing him on this A side, so MW finds 2, that's an opening, but then just gets traded back, and the Reckoning as well. Really solid. Assist. Coming in from King.
I mean, I imagine here for Leviatán, on this side of the timeout, I'm sorry, they're actually next. This is a back-to-back timeout. So there have been 2 that have been invested. You guys are going to hang out with us for a minute as we get through both of these. But I imagine if you're Leviatán, you go, okay, yeah, we're down pretty big. This doesn't feel great. But as we've alluded to a couple of times, they've been in this situation before.
Yeah.
They know that this is still well within reach.
Yeah, and to be honest, they've earned themselves a buffer. So, like, I think you're totally in the comfort seat no matter what here for Leviatán, no matter what happens in the rest of these rounds and a half. You want to close out the series here, but this one on Icebox, looking like we might need to see a repeat from the lock-in finals, because this is dire at this point. Double timeout, though, I think you're going to see not too much of a switch up from Leviatán. I think the setups that they're running are actually quite good against what Furia are doing. But the problem is that, again, it's these early picks. They're giving them too much space. So I think it's just a call for their players to use the utility that they have early and reactively to try to deny the space, but also give up and don't challenge too hard.
Yet if you are just tuning in, thank you so much for joining us. Leviatán put together a ferocious comeback on map 1. They found themselves down 3-9 and find themselves with a 13-11 win and a series lead here. But once again, they find themselves down. They find themselves facing up a 6-round deficit. And the question is, how much can they really salvage here? Or is it going to be very similar to what we saw previously, a massive gap at halftime?
This one's tough. The Brazilians are putting them to the test. That's for sure. The new kings of LATAM are struggling right now. And for many, actually, Leviatán look like they might be challengers to this throne. There's more damage done, but this Molly's very, very good. Look how much is actually, Digit's hurting. He's got to get the heal from QCK very fast.
It was just so well played. They received the aggression that they were expecting from DJZin. You saw it. Crosshair already pointed up in the Cloudburst, and the Molly setup was gorgeous.
There's a trade on low econ.
You will not kill my allies.
Burns the res.
Really no reason not to at this point. The op's still in play. Concerned about what might be waiting behind Yellow. Really, the threat was elsewhere on the map, but it's dealt with.
These guys are so good at these fast peaks. This is why they're dangerous, man. No matter how much you want to criticize creativity from Furia or what have you, they've always got that individual talent right there from the legend MW Zera himself.
Taco feeling a bit of the pressure. Oh, pass the set back, the Molly and the spam through the wall.
If he even touched that Molly, he was dead there.
14 HP, all that remains.
Here.
I think right now, major goal is not to give Khalil any kills.
Toxin screen down.
Not to give Mazin any kills. Those guys are very close to their ults. And you're not very close to anything except for Taco, maybe. So just go down to the spike. Mazin, there's one. Oh,
that is 2 steps closer.
He's 1 orb away now.
Yep.
It might have been one of their win conditions for this final round is actually occurring in this one specifically.
Last round
Well, let's
in
see,
the
can they actually find an orb?
Last
Can they find
round.
that pit? Or any reason for it in the first place? Or are we gonna see a 9-3 again? I mean, hey, you mentioned earlier you want to see King get involved, but looking at the scoreboard now, I said it was a guarantee from tying the kill record in Americas on Pearl, now to 4 and 10. It's a drastic difference, and I think that speaks to how difficult this game has been to call for him. That affects your IGLs a lot.
Does it affect Taco? Going aggressive? TGZin was ready for it. He's been here so many times early in the rounds.
I think the tell there, though, is that dart coming in from Nosworth. Trying to provide a little bit of safety and information to his player who's going sneakily into that top nest position.
Dude, they're just teeing off on Leviatán. King attempts to equalize, but where on earth are they going?
Oh, what are they doing?
Wave crashing.
Gives up his position. Might chase him down. No, they're going for an A split. Oh my goodness.
Have we ever seen this work? I feel like you don't see these successful very often, but it seems like they're just going to be able to overwhelm what Leviatán had.
I think a lot of those gimmick strategies end up working when there is already some concession made on both sides. Here, there was multiple kills already taken. And there's what I was talking about, Khalil. Ended up dying in the last round. Getting his ult up online right now with 2 orbs found. And it's costing a lot of time. They haven't cleared anything close.
No. But it does tee us up for potentially...
Oh, they actually did wall off Digits in here, though, but they're not going to clear him.
Yeah, this could be a very silly end of the round. A very silly end of the half. When you find yourselves down like this, what the heck? Why not, right? You draw out the Hunter's Fury from MW's era. He's patient on it. The pulses of the ult are just too much. Yeah, a little moonwalk kill out from Khalil as he's trying to back it on up. A 10-2 half in favor of Furia. And remember, it was 9-3 against Pearl. On Pearl, you wonder, okay, is that going to be enough? They have more of a runway here. They have more of a chance to put them away.
Yeah. This is an improvement. This is an improvement. I mean, if you think the second half's going to go identical, okay, they've done it now. They've won the map in a sense.
10-2 half, once again in favor of Furia. Mimi, is this enough? Are these enough rounds?
One would hope that it's enough, Doug. 10 rounds seems like pretty good to me thus far. But this is, of course, the analyst desk, and something we are legally required to do is talk about duelist players. Sean, talk about the duelist player.
Yeah, so DG, that caught me off guard. So DG popped off at the start of that game. Obviously, the opening clip on pistol to get things started, and then the third round to lock things down the A side. Again, from the same spot under Raptors. This Sheriff kill, by the way, the third kill, so patient to get that third headshot. He does it again with Bladestorm right here. And this is the bonus. So this is where things, again, just start going all in Furia's way. And again, Leviatán are having these huge defensive holes that are created time and time again, and Furia's game plans are working perfectly on their attack half.
Yeah, maybe am I in danger of authorities?
At least one thing about DGC.
If I don't say something about Taco
At least one thing. One thing.
Just Taco Lee account.
Yeah.
He's not doing as well as Digizine.
Okay, you can move on now.
That's a problem.
Next point, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Next point. What I did want to talk about outside the duels was that we're kind of seeing a mirror of the previous map, but instead it's Leviatán. They couldn't retake anything. They were playing 4 retakes with the Harbor, but they were just committing so hard to trying to play around his utility on the retakes and just stacking up behind the wall, praying that the Cove was going to be enough. Just stood around, not pressuring the flanks, not doing anything proactive really whatsoever, just trying to defuse, trying to stick. And Furia was totally content just sitting back, spamming everyone just spamming at the Cove, throwing all the utility, the shock darts, the mollies, etc. They have like 4 mollies, 2 shocks. It's just,
yeah.
They weren't doing enough. The Harbor, relying on that, wasn't enough.
And you said they were playing for the retakes, but every single round they conceded a plant. It was 12 rounds in a row. Every single one that spike came down, Sean.
Yeah, and like Wyatt was saying, I mean, all they were trying to do was diffuse behind this controller utility, whether it be a Viper ult, a Cove, a Harbor high tide. It was something like that, and it never, ever worked out for them. I think it's back to the drawing board with that. But going into this attack half for them, I think they'll stand a little bit of a better chance, right? Harbor is known to be able to cut line of sight a lot and be able to block vision, hit free sights. So maybe this is their half, but 10-2.
It is a brutal one, but Furia, they had a lead in map number 1. That one didn't quite work out. We'll have to see if they can close this lead as we hop back into Icebox with your casters, Doug and Bala.
Thank you so much, Mimi. Yeah, 10-2 half for Furia. Leviatán have been here before, but this is just worse. It's just considerably worse, right? Statistically, a 9-3 half, whatever, but I mean,
Yeah, they don't have the blessing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's no 210 blessing. It just doesn't exist.
Not a thing. But you know what is a thing, and I like the focus that Wyatt keeps bringing back on the desk to these post plants. If there's one thing that worked well from them on Pearl, was the post plants. They were 10 of 10 on their attacking side.
That's pretty good.
Whenever they got the spike down, they won the round. Now, one thing that is really good with this comp, and that's why I like to focus on this, is they get plants. They just are going to get plants. The high tide Viper wall combination is too strong not to get plants here.
They've managed to get through the stage wall. Oh my gosh, that shock dart hurts.
Maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon.
You've jinxed him.
And that's the Harper. He doesn't have the cope anymore.
Yeah. That shock dart was just brutal.
That's equivalent to losing your sage wall, without using it. So now they have to fight past the wall, and I think there's opportunities here with actually no smoke available for Taco. They're going to go for it, but fighting into the site. Dangerous game you play here.
Mazine still has a molly to deny the plant too, and he's just around the corner. But all right, statistically, this means they should win, right? They got the spike down?
Statistically, yes.
Here.
Furia looking to break the trend. They find themselves up in numbers here. And DG's in.
He's on the flank.
Yeah, he's just waiting for just the right time to strike.
This might be too slow, though.
Well, he's already gotten one. That's one going back by King, though. Traded back and forth. Now they're not able to find anything. Khalil's going to get the defuse, the kill at the end. And we may be clear of a comeback here.
Yeah. Yes, we may. That good half from Furia followed up by their third pistol round win in the series so far. And that makes me excited because map 3 is one that I think these teams will go back to a little bit more comfort territory. And they're both so solid at that one. And Furia just putting up such a front.
Placing alarm bomb. Placing swarm grenade.
Leviatán, the second Latin American team that they're playing against in a row.
Yeah, back to back.
The Latin American labyrinth that they're working through right now, and they've actually made it so difficult for themselves by losing that first one when they had control.
Yeah, but it seems like this map may be different. They may find a quick exit into the third map.
You know, his name is actually Quick. I don't know. You just summoned something inside of it.
Oh, Furia looking to summon Ascent too. As they're, within striking distance, just 2 rounds away from getting us there.
This is a full force, though. Desperation from Leviatán. They already got a pick, but trade it off. They don't have a cove either to try to get this plant down, and look at this double stack. Digitin is baiting for QCK. Ooh, shot volley, oh my goodness.
Ouch, that hurts. And the dart, he was spotted, revealed, and now dead. And Leviatán, they've been able to clear a lot of the big boxes that they needed to clear to get through this round.
Planted.
Can they check the final 2? Tide lasts forever. Wall gonna come back up as well. That denies the space from Khalil. Mazino very low though.
Dude, just when you think you get through one wall, you have to wait a little bit longer to get through the second. Bowser's in a really good spot, but Mazine clears it. He's aware. Now creeping forward, not aware on the second. Khalil's got it to 1. Oh my gosh.
The Spectre clutch god is Khalil. What a beast. And that all but wraps it up. You're going to see a little bit of a... Oh, well, you have to see a force buy again from Leviatán, which is dangerous. You just saw it. But Furia have so much room to work with. It's too free for him. The Spectre just runs.
Yeah, this lead surely feels...
Oh, and the thing that hurts the most off of that, at the top right of the scoreboard right there, Digizin with the operator on round 3.
Yeah. Light armor, but yeah. They aren't pushing towards him. They are pushing towards a Guardian, though, in the hands of MW Zera. Knowing what's on the other side, at least some of what's on the other side, they continue to push in behind all of the walls that they've thrown up.
Look at the mollies, actually. He pops both of them at the same time, but those could have melted. They're pairing the shocks as well with the Viper molly. So Leviatán will not be denied this site no matter what, though.
You see Furia have 4 members here. DGZin just waiting to see if there is the chance of a rotation. No, that should confirm things. They have the spike. They have the pit, too. They've got a lot of options here. King still has 2 mollies to work with. Nowser has a shock dart, too. Leviatán should be able to extend this one more round.
The thing that I'm looking here is, I think already you should have called the save. The thing is, the weaponry that you have is really centered around DGZin here on this round. The investment that you made back into this. And he has no tools to fight through this Viper pit. Doesn't have a shorty in this either. So it's surprising to see some of these players go for a little bit more.
Oh, I like this. So try to get some guns out of Leviatán's hands. He is going to scoop up the Guardian. Should be able to get away.
Oh, King.
King, though, yeah, not so fortunate. What do you have?
Probably
A
just
Stinger, maybe? A
something like
Spectre?
that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're forcing every round at this point. Light armor the entire way, probably. Oh, he tried to go over here. Yep. Can't do that.
He was close.
I think if you plant all the way in the back left of site, maybe. So still have the op, still have that Guardian. Khalil with the Bulldog as well, but it is a mostly save.
Toxins going
So
up.
dangerous, though.
Yeah.
The thing is, DGZin's making the wrong gambles. So
Yeah, but
we could still have a little bit more to play here. We might have a little bit of an extension from Leviatán.
Balla, I gotta be honest with you. I'm so tempted to make you agree to some outrageous gamble or some outrageous bet, just to apply a little pressure.
I'm a numbers man, not a gambling man.
And you're confident that Leviatán don't pull this off, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, let me think.
You better cook fast.
Let me think. They're playing this just as slowly as we saw in Pearl. The spike not even in tow right now. Would you shave your head?
My head?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? That's free. Hair grows back.
Unless you're the egg. They finally scoop up the spike. And it looks like they want to NB. Once again, King has found a bit of room to work with, but take a look at where QCK is.
Toxins going up.
He's in such a good spot. The turret for contact, the swing out. Oh no.
Deep wall as well.
He hears all of this. The turret is still there to provide cover.
30 seconds left.
But how does he play around this? Mazzino getting a spike down in the cove. Backing
Threatening
up.
it. It's only Mazin who covered him, so everybody else not too worried. They think he's gone. Wait a second.
Yeah, dude, the timing out from King is going to be everything. He has 2 mollies, too, so he can play lineups. Wall up from QCK, Shy down. And the heal. There's the molly. Mazine getting one. On to Tacos. Mazzino pushing forward. It's just DGZin and Khalil that are left.
They're all on site, though. Dushin's
Yeah.
really close to them.
Nowser with 3, Leviatán with 4.
And key thing, DGZin didn't save the op. Even though it was a low investment, he went for it there with the shorty at the end. And he's not close to knives. Didn't really found too much value in those first 2 rounds, so there's some room here. Definitely some room. And one thing that we were talking about a lot on Pearl was how some of those power ults can swing the round. In this case, Leviatán is actually the one who has the ult advantage, but it's also not as swingy because ults, like the KJ ult gets countered by the Sova ult, and
Sure.
there's counters abound.
Yeah, little rock, paper, scissors type beat.
So it's not necessarily a guarantee. I mean, no round is a guarantee, let me be clear, but the chances increase significantly. Right now, Furia has an uncounterable KJ lockdown unless Shy gets one of his own. But the other thing too, it's just sheriffs all across the board.
First shot going a bit wide from DGZin.
Can't be killed.
Yeah, this should be clean out from Leviatán.
That's a cool idea there from Mazin. DGZin shows himself on one side of the map, and that's where you take your foot off the... You just start to rotate off of that belt position.
Right.
Because you don't expect somebody else who's not a jet, but he uses the rope trick to get across towards belt and pushes once you think DGZin's on the other side.
Are you going to be expecting MW0, though? Look at how far up he is in A main.
Here.
I don't think King's expecting it. I remind as I say that he turns around, looks that way. The hit works its way forward onto B. Taco's already gotten back yellow. He's going to find a couple of members.
Spike down B.
And there was a good setup there from Fury, but I have to criticize Digits in there. He marks where the dart is going to go. I'm not sure if he had a smoke or what, but doesn't break it for his teammate there, QCK, who has the main role of dropping that wall when the execute comes in. Which, of course, gets broken instantly, but slight mistake there.
Yeah, but Bala, you know that's not the duelist job to clear the darts. They get the darts cleared for them.
I appreciate the education. I didn't know that, actually.
3 rounds for Leviatán. Furia
is that why my
still
rank teammates always yell at me?
very close behind. Still just 1 round away from pushing us to Ascent. 3 ults for Leviatán here, and key ones too. The lockdown, as you mentioned in the previous round. Taco going up, MW Zera. He spots 2.
A fast reckoning too as well. But there's a gap here for Digits to abuse. He's gonna go for it. Executes so clean from Leviatán too. Molly's landing in the back as well. They haven't planted yet though.
Yeah, there's still some time.
And if they regain site control here, Furia, they can put the lockdown of their own. Nowser will be forced to use his Hunter's Fury, but that's an investment of a whole player. And also, there's some gimmicky lockdowns here on this B site where it's kind of difficult to find exactly where that is on the minimap. He's gonna use it. This one looks like it could be top net, so let's see. Yeah, he's missing, he's missing.
He's not gonna hit it. 2, the 3rd. Yeah, it doesn't connect. The thing is, there's still a good bit of room for Leviatán to work with.
The wall is so good.
Outside of the lockdown. Now the pit, but there are 2 that are there were 2 that were hit. They just push forward, they hold the defuse, and Bala keeps his hair for 1 more day. We're heading to Ascent.
Solid recovery mentally here from Furia. I mentioned how difficult it was going to be to march back after losing Pearl when they were so in control. But this is, across the stage from them, the best of the best. We mentioned demons a lot for teams that haunt them. And for Furia, closing out against the best of the best has been their problem over and over. So we get 1 more map, and it's Leviatán's best. Ascent next. Whew. But Furia is good at this map too. This is definitely going to be a banger. You're not going to want to miss this. This is going to be so good.
Again, we're tied up here at 1 apiece, and the questions around whether or not they'd be able to close them out, as you were just saying, as you were just alluding to. A sigh of relief for the Furia faithful. They stay alive, they clean things up. There is no disaster that they're gonna have to keep and weigh on their shoulders. A 13-5 when DDZ popped off, Khalil popped off. It was very clean, all things considered. And I think the important thing is they were able to overcome the obstacle that they had previously. Ascent on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, friends. There's still 1 map to go.